Alright guys, so today we're going to go through that homework worksheet that you guys worked on yesterday or over break. So I'm going to go through some of these, not all of them, and then next week I will have for you the answer key for you to check all your work here. Alright, so looking at -4 sine of x, let's do a scale here. Let's see if I can do this okay. Every third tick mark is going to be pi over 2. So this will be 2 pi. That's one full period. All right, so sine starts at 0, 0. That doesn't change. What does -4 in the front represent? That is amplitude of 4. And I put a star because it's a reflection. So at pi over 2 is normally at +1. Multiplying that by -4 would be -4. Back to 0, up to +4, back to 0. So here is your graph of -4 times the sine of x. Pause this video at any time that you need to go back through this. All right, number 2, a little more challenging, sine of x over 3. That is the same thing as saying the sine of 1/3 x. If there is no vertical shift or phase shift, sometimes your book neglects the parentheses, so that means the same thing as 1/3 x. Which of the 4 changes is this? If you're saying period change, you are correct. Normal period is 2 pi. To find the period change is 2 pi divided by b. In this case, 2 pi divided by 1/3. That will be period is 6 pi. So your graph is being stretched out horizontally. So in order to fit this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's say that's 12. So every 4 tick marks is pi. In order to determine how far apart each point is, like in the original here, 2 pi is the period and pi over 2 is the distance between each x input. What you do is you take the period and you divide it by 4. So 6 pi divided by 4 is 3 pi over 2. That's how far apart our x inputs are going to be. Luckily there's no vertical change, phase shift, or amplitude that's different than 1. So sine starts at 0. And then the next point's not going to be until 3 pi over 2 after 0. So 3 pi over 2 is halfway between pi and 2 pi. So we're going to go up to 1. And now I check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes on our grid here. So I need to go 6 more, 2, 4, 6, and we're going back to 0. 2, 4, 6, down to -1. 2, 4, 6, right here. This is 6 pi. So this in green will be the graph of our function g of x equals sine of x over 3. So that is a vertical stretch by 3. Remember, inside the parentheses means you do the opposite. So instead of dividing by 3, you're multiplying by 3. So it's a stretch. All right, number 3. This is the same thing as cosine x plus 4 on the outside. So be careful, it's not an amplitude change, but if you thought it vertical change, you are correct. So up at 4, I draw a dotted horizontal line, and I think of that as my new x-axis because I'm just shifting my graph up 4. So cosine always starts 1 above and then goes to 0. I need to make a scale here, so I'm going to make every 3 pi over 2. I think that's what you guys have in your worksheet that I handed out. So this is 2 pi here. So 1, 0, I should change my color so we can see this. 1 above, back to normal, 1 below, back to normal, 1 above. So this is 1 period. I know that the direction said 2, but we're just focusing on 1 right now. All right, number 4. 4x on the inside. Woof. All right, so period is 2 pi divided by b, which is 4. So this is pi over 2. So that means we are making one full wave between 0 and pi over 2. Looking back up here, to find our critical point of how far apart our x input values were, we divide the period by 4. So we are dividing pi over 2 divided by 4. So pi over 2 times the reciprocal. So pi over 8. So for the sake of space, and since I'm writing on my surface here, every tick mark is going to be pi over 8. So negative cosine. We're starting at -1, 0, +1, 0, -1. And this last point here would be at pi over 2. All right? You would be able to fit 4 waves between 0 and the normal 2 pi. That's what that 4x is talking about. All right, let's skip number 6. I apologize for putting that one. That one's crazy. You will not be responsible for that one in this class here. Let's look at number 7. So we have an amplitude of 2. It's positive, so I'm not going to put a star. And we have a phase shift to the left pi. Whenever I have a phase shift, I graph not the parent function, but the function that would be everything but the phase shift. So off to the side here in black, I am going to graph y equals 2 cosine of x. All right, so 2 cosine x. So 2, 0, -2, 0, 2. If your graph was every 3 tick marks, I think it was, I'll do that instead. So every 3 is pi over 2. So 2, 0, -2, 0, 2. I'll just put right here negative pi over 2 is 3 tick marks. Not pi over 3, pi over 2. All right, so left pi. So every 6 is pi. So every single point that you have here is going to go over 6. So the pink would be your final answer for this one. All right, that is all for going through these. I'll have the answer key for all of them minus number 6, since I'm not going to look at that one or ever give that one to you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you about it next week.